When your old career gives you lemons, throw in some ice, mix in some vodka, and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport, and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Thanks for getting your pot on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. I'm excited because I got a call that Madge, who's been on the podcast before and has her own podcast, Madge Unmuted, was going to be in town taping an episode. And then she texted me saying, I'm sorry, I'm running late. I'll be there in about 5 minutes. I said, perfect, no worries. And then she said, and don't laugh at me because I'm dressed like a troll up. Which I was like, for my season premiere. And I'm like, a troll? And I'm thinking, I go, what?
I walk in the door with this outfit on. And
it is a bustier, and your bustier is boosted out.
It is. And I got I don't want to give it,
Oh, look at that.
So,
my God.
So I got, sorry for that angle there, Bill. You got to picture the Holland Tunnel there for a minute.
Oh, my God, I almost just spit out my water. Jesus, Madge, what are you doing?
I know. Oh, no. So when I walked in with this outfit and you're like, give me the look like, what? And I'm like, oh, God, do I look that bad? Do I look like this
No.
old lady trying
What did I say to you?
And then you said, oh, I thought you're not dressed as a troll or whatever you said. And I said, trollop.
Well, if I read it out, like phonetically, it does say trollop, but it says it is 2 words. And I was firing through things. I'm on the phone with my kid's mom trying to talk stuff out with him and blah, blah, blah. So I've been, you know how it works. You move 100 miles an hour.
I know.
So you're in town to do your season premiere of Madge Unmuted.
Yes. Season 6.
This is great. And when does it drop?
Hold, please.
Okay, hold, please. I got you.
I'm good. It drops on Friday.
Okay, good.
Hopefully. So, I'm going to do one every week.
Okay.
I'm trying to stay current. I want to get them, I want to record them and get them out right away because the stuff is timely. Like, I wish I could do a daily like you do, but I don't have enough material. But, and it's
I don't either.
But I want to, that's why you're here, Madge.
No, that's not even true. You said you were around. I go, come in. Danny is normally here with me tonight, but his wife had a procedure, and so he was going to be with his wife. And then you said, can I come in? And I go, that's great, because Madge has a lot to say about a lot of things. And I thought, you have a media background, and I thought we could talk about some of the other things that are happening in the world. And I like and respect your opinion, believe it or not.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, I know. I had wanted to talk to you about some doing some stuff, podcast stuff, and but yeah, you could say that didn't work out.
No,
but
we can still do that. We can do that in between. Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you asked me to partake.
Of course. So here's the thing that I find interesting with this whole. I watched last night. I couldn't watch. I could not watch.
Same.
I had to go to YouTube, and I think I waited till, I don't think I found it till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, really?
Well, it was weird because I was doing a bunch of other things, and the next thing I know, I go, how does this happen? I get like a surge of energy. You know what I did?
Oh, I do the same thing.
Here's the bad part. I stopped at Starbucks and got an energy shot. They do these ginger energy shots.
What's wrong with you?
And so I took that at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And Madge, I did that once with a Red Bull, and I cannot fall asleep. So I was awake, and I finally found Kimmel's monologue as he opened up, which I thought was hysterically funny, the first part.
I did too. It uploaded probably, what did he start, 11:35? It was like an 18-minute monologue. It was up by like 10 of 12.
It was.
Or
Okay.
Or midnight.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Yeah, it was 25 minutes.
Yeah, because I kept watching because I couldn't.
Yeah, because we have Sinclair stations
Yeah.
and they're not putting them on.
Yeah, and so I was, bound and determined to find it, and I just had to wait for the YouTube thing.
So I did watch, and then I only watched half of it until he went to. I think he took a commercial break in
he
between.
did in the middle of his monologue. Yeah.
And then I waited till this morning because then I'm tired. then I go, oh shit, I'm in bed. All right, it's time to sleep. So I did that, and then I got up this morning and I did watch. Your thoughts on all of it would be what I'd like to. Well, let's see that. It's a weird time. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I do understand what's happening.
No, right. And so I just talked about this on my podcast I just recorded that I've always tried to be very diplomatic about things.
Me too.
I'm fucking done with that. I mean,
You are.
I am.
Yeah.
In June I turned 60.
Yeah.
And these are all the fucks that I have.
Really? There's none there.
There's none there. And so I'm because I didn't want to turn off certain people, and also
Absolutely.
I have friends that are on both sides.
Absolutely.
I have very close people in my life that walk both sides, and I just found myself that I was just doing a disservice to myself because it was affecting my mental health by not talking.
No, I think that's like really self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I knew I was getting very anxious, and I was like, this feels like somewhere I've been before in my life. Oh yeah, most of it where I tried to be something else people,
Right.
wanted me to be, which was not myself. So I was trying to, constantly dim my light, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm done. So where do I start? Free speech.
Yeah.
Most people don't know what the fuck that really is.
Thank you, because I agree with you 100%.
People,
Right. It's ugly. Free speech is ugly.
Right.
Right. So you got to tolerate both sides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to tolerate both sides, and it does. But it also means. It also means that you're not.
Jesus
I know.
Christ.
Sorry. It also means that you're not free from consequences. However, you should be free from consequences from the government.
Yeah.
So, when people are always, you're online and somebody says horrific things, and then it's free speech, man. I should say whatever I want. Oh, because if someone else even comes in and says, "Gee, that's not cool. That's incredibly racist." Free speech, man. I could say whatever I want. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't mean I have to like it.
Right. That's very, very astute, right? Because I'm not going to like what somebody says.
Right.
There's books in print that I would never read. There's that. But when it comes to like the Kimmel situation, it's not. Here's where it gets tough because and I talk to you about things happening in local radio, and I'll just go back to that. That isn't so much free speech as it's corporate. And
Correct.
And it almost feels like many people for many years have said, I wish we could have a businessman in the White House. There was always that run the country like a business, right?
Sorry, I think I just sprained an eyeball. But yes, go ahead.
So right now, it does feel a little bit like America, the corporation. And here's what I mean. If you work at a place like Paychex, they give you a dress code. You have to adhere by the rules. And if you continue to walk in there, and I would say this to my kids all the time, to anybody, like, I don't agree with the Catholic Church, but I'm a Catholic, and I continue to go. If you walk in their door, you got to play by their rules,
Exactly.
or you got to leave. You can leave and find something else. You have that free choice. So when it comes to Kimmel, I was like, at first, I go, I don't know what this is. I watched by accident that night that it happened. Mm-hmm. I had the Monday Night Football game on, which was on ABC. I flipped over to ESPN. That game was boring. I went back to ABC and just had it on as background noise, some show where this woman is super smart and she could figure stuff out.
Oh,
do you know the one I mean?
Potential or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. So I don't watch. And then right after that, the news was on, and I was, are you too hot?
Well, you tell me. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah, I'm good. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, Carl. I'm fine.
I can lower the
No, I'm
air.
good.
All right.
I'm
All
good.
right. So, Jesus
Sorry.
Christ, I don't even know what to say. It's very rare that I get a lawsuit. So, as I'm watching it, I saw the whole thing. It was funny, but the part that seemed to upset people was when he said something along the lines of, the right seems to be distancing themselves as much as possible from the individual who shot Charlie Kirk because that person's family was MAGA. I've read things that he was even further right. Other people say he's not. He had whatever, but they were distancing, and you can kind of understand it. He just saw it. That to me was like a throwaway. It was a nothing.
Right.
It was a nothing, and the problem is that it's the FCC chairman that decided that that's why. And here's what people don't understand, and this is the corporate part of the thing. In business, yeah, a lot of deals get made, right? Some we talk about backdoor deals. That's why there's rules and things in government. I remember my buddy's dad was the GM of Upstate Milk when we were in college, and he got let go because the company was fined for price fixing or said to be part of price fixing. In other words, they would go to the schools and go, all right, you get the bid this time, Madge, and I get the bid next time. We're going to go, we'll each raise it a little bit, but we'll come in the lowest, and it'll still be 50 cents or more than we were getting per carton or something like that.
Right.
So these kind of things happen, and this felt like that. It's like, hey, man, you guys, ABC, Disney, you want to buy the NFL Network? You want that approved by the FCC? Shut your mouthpiece up.
Yep.
And it felt the same way with Colbert.
I was going to say.
But at first, with Colbert, I kept saying, hey, it's corporate. If you're losing money, they were saying they're losing money. Things I read said that. I said, as much as I don't like it, I don't like silencing of voices, this isn't a free speech issue because it's a business issue. And business is cold, and it's pretty much black and white. We have feelings. Like when the local radio station. I don't like seeing local people off the radio. I don't care who they are. I think that's terrible.
Right.
But if they're not their whole thing is to make money. That's it.
Right.
Business is you're in the business to make money. So that's what I thought. But then when you now look at it through a slightly different lens and you see this, it's really disturbing because that's not, and I said this, and it was somebody else said it I saw afterwards. I try to stay away when there's hot issues from anybody else's opinion.
Same.
So mine is truly mine. It's not influenced.
Right.
And I said, this is not American. It felt non-American to me, or un-American in a sense, right?
Jimmy Kimmel said last night.
Yeah,
It's
and
anti-American.
it's anti-American, and I thought, wow. And he got emotional as he talked about. Look, I said when Charlie Kirk got shot, that to me was damaging to free speech because I feel like people would be quiet no matter what they wanted to say for fear that someone's going to put a bullet in their brain or wherever. And that to me is terrible. I don't want to see free speech. There is the ugly side of it. Yeah. And that's okay. I'd rather have that than not that at all.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Let me start out by saying Charlie Kirk being murdered was not okay.
Oh, it's awful.
It's awful.
Horrible.
It's horrendous. It's horrible. That shouldn't have happened. That's not the answer.
No.
And it's horrible, for his wife and his kids, anybody that loved him. I mean, anyway, that's terrible. And this is going to be controversial. And he was. And you're right, because so many people have tried to spin it on why ABC yanked him.
Yeah.
What one thing did he say? And I think you're right on the money. Well, on the money that, he said that the guy was, the shooter was MAGA.
Yeah.
Or the fact that he said that the shooter wasn't on the left.
Right.
But the other thing is, I thought the funniest thing is when he said, and I'm kind of thinking, Trump is very, very, very thin-skinned.
Trump admitted it on
admitted
years
it.
ago. Years ago, and I think Jimmy played a clip of that last night.
Yeah. He admitted it, and he said that, oh my God, what was the thing? He said, they played the clip of them saying, aren't you upset about your friend? Yeah, and look at these trucks over here building this ballroom. Right. And then everybody laughed, and it's like, however, so you were saying, yes, corporations can say, can
We're
have
not going
whatever.
To have this, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
They can have their standards. However, when it's dictated by...
That's the part that feels
That's the
un-American.
part that's icky because, and it's two things is what the chairman of the FCC, Carr, said, and then doubled down on about basically like you do this the easy way or the hard way. Mm-hmm. That's a threat.
BTB Wood Fire Pizza and Grill in the mall at Grease Ridge. There's a game coming up Sunday. The Saints are coming to Buffalo to play the Buffalo Bills. It's a 1:00 game. This is a game that we all have a feeling as how it's going to go. I mean, the spread is 15.5. I'm just saying. Why not go to BTB? Over 50 TVs. A lot of like-minded people. Fun place to watch a Bills game. I'm telling you, one of the most fun places to watch a Bills game. Bring your appetite and get the crispy potato skins piled high with cheddar, mozzarella, bacon, plus a side of sour cream. It is delicious. I mean, you can even go for classic toppings. Or load them up, whatever you want. BTB, Wood Fire Pizza and Grill. Yeah, look, I ate an entire pizza when I was out there by myself. I only say that because when have you sat down and just gone, this is so good, I can't get enough of it? Anything. It didn't have to be pizza. I'm just saying anything. And that's how I felt about the pizza. It was so good, I couldn't get enough of it. Yes. $15 large one-topping pizzas, dine-in only. Take advantage of that. Be kind to the bartenders. They're always hustling for you over there. It's all about you when you go into BTB Wood Fire Pizza and Grill in the mall at Grease Ridge. Check them out, and you'll see all kinds of delicious things that they have at BTB on Facebook. It's facebook.com/BTB Wood Fire Pizza. They are online with their own website, btbroc.com. BTB Wood Fire Pizza and Grill in the mall at Grease Ridge. The Bills undefeated at this point, and it does look like, gosh, they could. I mean, the one stumbling block that many of us saw was Baltimore, and I don't know, that was amazing. And now Baltimore looks, I mean, the Lions made them look less than spectacular. 7 times they got to the quarterback. To Lamar Jackson.
And it's amazing they fell apart in the fourth quarter again, like they fell apart in the fourth quarter against the Buffalo Bills. So they have their own demons that they are trying to transfix over there in Baltimore. But it was it was an interesting game that they had there, and Detroit looked really, really good. Really good.
Yeah,
really good.
Detroit looks like maybe they're the best team. I don't know. It's hard to say because, boy, they didn't look that good, even against – did they play Dallas recently? They didn't look so good against
No. They looked terrible against Green Bay.
Green
Bay.
Okay.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. And then, like as they ever say, they lost 8 coaches. They're not going to be able to rebound. They're not going to have the year. But, man, I tell you, that under the lights, Monday Night Football, they came to play, and they still have the same talent. They didn't lose much talent. They got Hutchinson back, who I'm telling you, the guy's a game changer. He's one of the best, if not the best defensive player in the league right now. But back to Buffalo, man, 3-0. We weren't expecting that. It's interesting that the Bills are 3-0, and then the Chiefs and the Ravens are playing for who's going to be 1-3.
You got it. You
didn't think about that.
No.
Beginning of the year. Did not think about that.
But how are you feeling about Buffalo? Certainly against the Dolphins, Thursday night game, so short week.
Yeah.
You're talking about guys banged up on defense. And, boy, there were times, and you're always going to hear this, when you're playing a division game, and I always say, I don't know with professionals. I think every game's every game. But they do seem to play up more when you're in that environment, and they were able to move the ball quickly against the Bills.
Oh, that was the thing. I think the game plan coming in would look to, by the naked eye, is get the ball out of Tua's hands quick.
Yeah.
So even though the Bills didn't have Ed Oliver, they still had Bosa on the pass rush. They were a very good penetrating team. So they wanted to get the ball out of Oliver's or to his hands quickly, and they did that. And they did a good job doing that. Guys were open quick. They made quick throws. They didn't allow any pressure to get to Tua. So I kept saying in my house, I'm saying, guys, suspend your pass rush, stop it, and get your hands in passing lanes. Now, they did that towards the end of the game, which resulted in that interception. I can't remember the D lineman, Walker, maybe, that got his hands up and actually tipped the ball so slightly. It may have been intercepted anyway, but when you get hands in passing lanes, that's going to do way more damage than trying to go 100 miles an hour trying to get to the quarterback when the quarterback's not going to allow you to do that during the game. So that was the little bit of a chess match. I thought they were going to do more misdirection than they did. The Bills were caught in some of the big chunks of yards that the Dolphins got. The Bills were caught in some stunts where they slanted the entire line to the right, and the Dolphins had the play going back to the left, and you put a linebacker on an island. You just can't, the Dolphins outcoached them on that one. The one thing that I got frustrated with, and they won the game, and that's great, but as you know, anybody who's ever played the game and any coach who's ever coached the game, nothing is ever as good as it seems, and nothing is ever as bad as it seems.
I agree with that.
The one thing that I got frustrated with is in that first series that the Dolphins had, that was not a catch by Tyreek Hill on the sideline. That was bobbled, and he had 1 foot in bounds.
Yeah.
Why was the challenge flag not thrown? I'm not going to call that out of McDermott. That was a third down. It would have forced the Dolphins to punt. They eventually scored 7 on that play. But and people may be thinking, wait a minute, why are you splitting hairs? There were 3-0. No. You have, in those games where you're going to need that play to go your way, you have to have a well-oiled machine when it comes to instant replay. Now, could have the headsets gone down, technology gone down, no one was communicating, they couldn't hear, say, throw the flag? Possibly. This is why preseason is so important to the coaches, not just to the point. Everybody's like, oh, we have too many preseason games. It's so important to the coaches for those types of situations where you have to have the process down pat. And you have to have someone in the booth watching that play before we see it in our homes or wherever we're watching it, because they got a phone down to McDermott and say, throw the challenge flag. That was absolutely not a catch. So that was a big issue for me. I mean, it kept the game close. And I think that wasn't the only thing, but it was so early in the game. The Bills obviously overcame it. But just those little tiny things, Bill, and it's, again, 3 games in. They're going to get better at that as the year goes on. But just a small thing, when the teams are better, you're going to need that back.
You ever feel like you've got issues in your tissues? Yeah, me too. That's not just a catchy rhyme. That's your body calling out for help. And guess what? Help has a name. It's Sheila Tillich. I want you to go to SheilaTillich.com and check out all the things Sheila offers to help you live at your highest potential. Now, I've always believed that potential is a dangerous word. It's like, sure, I could go to the gym, but man, am I comfortable sitting here eating a family-sized bag of chips by myself? That's not just me, right? Potential means you're not there yet. But with Sheila, you can actually reach it. Here's the deal. Sheila unlocks the healing from within. That's what she does. It's not about her waving a magic wand like some wizard in yoga pants. It's about you, because the issue's in your tissues. She helps you release them. Pathways to release and renewal. Boom. And hey, if you want to spice things up, you can have Sheila come to your event. Imagine this. You invite your friends over. Everyone's expecting chips and guac, but surprise, it's a healing workshop with Sheila. By the end, you're more aligned, your soul DNA is merged, and maybe, just maybe, you'll stop ghosting your therapist. Sheila's got IT classes, group soul DNA merging. Yeah, it's as cool as it sounds. Unity field healing, and so much more. And you can do it all online or in person, or bring Sheila right to your group. Because here's what you need to know. Everyone's journey to healing is unique. That's why Sheila offers such a variety of services. She's the conduit, the channel to help you live your most purposeful life. So stop doom scrolling, stop ignoring those tissues with issues, and head over to SheilaTillich.com. Seriously, your highest self is waiting, and Sheila's here to help you meet it. Josh Allen seems to be shooting off the charts as well on the football field. Yeah, I mean, they look good. If the defense can hold up and we don't have any injuries, I don't know. I think the sky's the limit.
The biggest takeaway from last week is this coming week, either the Ravens or the Chiefs are going to be 1-3, and I think the Bills just are going to just own the AFC. I mean, they essentially could have a 3-game lead on the number 1 seed in the AFC, and I think that is just massive. Plus, they can gain another one, against the Chiefs in another 4 weeks. So, I mean, that's just monster.
It is. And when you look at, is it the Chiefs Ravens in week 4?
Yes, that's coming up.
So that's a game where I'll ask you, I don't know if it's one you've examined or not, but I would say you'd want the Chiefs to lose. I know everybody's going, well, you don't want to see Lamar again. I'm like, yeah, but they seem to have their issues. I'd like to see them beat the Chiefs have been the Bills' nemesis, not the Ravens. And I know they've been close, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree, because the Chiefs, I think, even are a team that even if they lose 3 or even 4 in a row, they could still rip off then 10. Like, they're just that team. Yeah. Mahomes is that guy. Reed, they just have the nucleus to be able to do that. Where the Ravens, I think it's a little different. I know I've just been saying I thought they were the best team, in the league, and I still think they're up there. But yes, they have their problems big time. And that showed Monday night.
The Lions, I mean, look, the Lions didn't have obviously had a tough game against Green Bay, and yet they sacked Lamar 7 times, and it almost feels like from week 1 to week 3, they really put in the work and put in the focus. So
he did not have an answer for running around. He held the ball way too long, which is why they got to him 7 times. Henry fumbled again for the 3rd time in 3 games, which I think he had 3 fumbles in like 2 seasons. He's fumbled every single game this year so far, which is just nuts. So they have some issues for sure.
Yeah. When you're looking at the games, who do you? I guess let me start with this, because it's the Buffalo Bills. I think the spread right now is 15.5. Is that accurate? Peter, by the way, Peter said that. He was on before you, and it was actually Peter who said, and I should give Peter credit. I don't want to be that guy. I feel like Robin Williams. Robin Williams was always accused of stealing other guys' jokes, and I knew guys who were really friendly with Robin, and they would say, he just has this brain, and he doesn't even know he's really doing it. So I don't want to be stealing from Peter. Peter was the one who said, I don't think you want the Ravens, the Kansas City to beat the Ravens. I think you want the Ravens to beat Kansas City. And that was sort of his theory, and I agree. But tell me about that. That seems like a really high spread and one that may come down.
Yeah, I don't think it could go, because I said this last week when the Dolphins game, I think, ballooned up to 12. I said I never take double digits in the NFL, and they covered. The Dolphins covered.
Yeah, they did.
So, that's 15. The Saints, I think, are terrible. One of, if not the worst team in the league. And they start super slow. So, if anything, I would take the Bills first quarter or first half and just get it over with. Because I think this is a game where Josh Allen doesn't even step on the field in the fourth quarter. I think they're up 38-10 or 38-3 and, just kind of cruise, run the ball, get out of there, unscathed, no injuries. But at the same time, 15 points, you're just asking for a backdoor cover. You could be up 20-21, and all it takes is
100%.
Saints to come down, meaningless play.
Garbage
the
time,
Bills will get
right?
up and
garbage
in
time.
the end zone.
Yeah.
I'm staying away for that for sure. I can't even find a money line on it, which would be like, I don't know, probably like $1,200 to win $100 or something.
Yeah.
Just for them to win. I don't think there's any way in hell the Bills lose that game, but I don't like the 15.5.
There is a game that I find very interesting. It's Sunday, 1:00. It's the Browns and the Lions, and here's why I find it interesting. The Browns defense is legit.
They're awesome.
That defense is legit. And the Lions defense is, we saw it against the Ravens. They held Henry. He fumbled again, and they got to Lamar 7 times. I don't know what the spread is on this. I feel like it could be a low-scoring game.
Big time. I like the under 44.5 right now. And I guarantee that comes down to like 42, 43.
Okay.
By the time Monday hits. That's going to be under slugfest big time. 13-3, 13-6, something like that. It's going to be low scoring because it's a shame the Browns don't have an offense because that defense is legit. I mean, what they've done to Love last week, getting that upset, Burrow couldn't do a thing on them. They're playing good. Their offense, they just have nothing, which, they're in these low-scoring slugfest games.
Yeah. Another one that I find intriguing at 1 o'clock, and it's only because they've been able to eke these games out, but I believe they're one of the 10 teams that are 3-0 at this point in the season, and that's the Bucs going up against the Eagles. But there's something about Baker Mayfield that motherfucker is a baller, man. He is a baller. And I don't know that he has the most skill or the most athleticism. He was the number 1 overall pick, the same draft Josh Allen was in. But and certainly their career paths have been a little bit different. However, Baker is God damn it. He wills to get that done.
They became the first team to win 3 games off the final drive.
Yeah.
So they very well could be 0-3, but they're not. They're 3-0. And good teams find a way to win. They do. And which is, I think, what Tampa Bay is doing. That being said, they've also had some luck, which, to win those games, all these close games, everything's got to go on your side. So I think that's very interesting. And if anything, I would be inclined to take them. I think they're getting 3.5. I like that a lot in Tampa.
Yeah.
On Monday or Sunday.
So that's that's sort of a push then, right? If you're talking really a half point because you get 3 points for being home.
Yep.
So,
and I think, the heat, especially down in Tampa, the heat, with teams that aren't used to that, humidity could be a factor. So,
yeah.
And the Eagles got so lucky. They were down 26-7 against the Rams. Remember, that was my pick.
Yeah, I know.
And to lose that on a blocked field goal, that's just unheard of. All they had to do was either miss the field goal, make the field goal, or block it, and just if they don't return, they cover. The Rams cover that 3.5.
Weren't there 2
that
blocks?
That was a brutal beat.
Tomorrow, I think I have to do a solo one. I don't know. We got to see. For Juice, for Peter, who was in Vegas, for Madge Maddigan, please check out the Madge Unmuted podcast. It'll come out Friday. It's her 4th season. I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you tomorrow.
I woke up in a hotel, didn't know what to do. I turned the TV on and wrote a letter to you. The news was talking about